I think there's so many people that are missing out on prayer. Prayer is not a routine.
No.
Prayer is not a religious act. Prayer is spontaneous.
Ooh, come on.
In other words, every time you spend or every time you go into your prayer room,
right,
something different always has to happen. Sometimes you just want to worship God. Sometimes you just want to pray. Sometimes you begin to laugh. Sometimes, oh man, I feel the presence of God already.
Let's go.
So prayer is always spontaneous.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they go into prayer and they already come with the mentality of what they're going to say to God.
Yes.
See, God doesn't need you to come with preparation of words. In other words, okay, I already know what he's going to say. I already know, I'm going to talk to him about my family. I'm going to talk to him about this. You see, you have to get to the point where you lose conscience of your surrounding. You have to get to that point where where your prayer life is no longer a routine, but your prayer life is spontaneous.
That's right.
Every time you have a spontaneous prayer life, something always happens. You're always changed. You're always transformed. It is impossible for a person to spend 1 second in God's presence and not be changed.
Yes.
It cannot happen. So every time you go into that place of prayer, something always has to happen. There has to be a change in mentality. There has to be a change in your heart. There has to be something different that always has to happen. There's times where I just don't know what to say. I just want to worship.
Yep.
There's times where I don't know what to say. I just want to be on my knees. But there's also times where all I do is just begin to laugh out of nowhere. Why? Because my prayer life is no longer a routine. My prayer life is not based on how long a song is.
Right.
Because a lot of people, they base their prayer, their time of prayer based off a song. In other words, they say, okay, I'm going to pray just 3 songs. God doesn't need you to just pray 3 songs. He needs you to lose yourself in that moment of prayer, in the place of prayer. And I think that when somebody prays, when a young person prays, when a church prays, when a family prays, a couple things happen. When they do not pray, a couple things happen. When a church that does not know how to pray, it is a church or a group of people that is not prepared. In other words, the enemy is planning something, and because you didn't pray, it caught you by surprise. A person that prays can no longer be caught by surprise. A person that prays is already prepared, is already in a stage of being aware of what's to come. So number 1, a church that does not pray is a church that is not prepared. Number 2, a church, a person, a young man, a young woman, an adult that does not pray is a person that is not alive. In other words, it's in that moment of prayer where God prepares you. It's in the moment of prayer where God breathes his breath into you. So I think we definitely need to go back to the place of prayer.
Thank you so much for taking time to watch this clip of one of our podcast episodes. To catch the full audio version of this episode, click the link in the description box below. And if you like these clip formats and you want to see more, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we release new episodes. Comment down below what your thoughts are of this episode. And hey, while you're here, go ahead, go and check out another video. Always remember, the portal is open.